I'm a big believer in research, a big believer in R&D. I'm a big believer in doing things in our environment on our farm, and I've always set aside, one or two paddocks or part of a paddock or whatever, where I'm always trying new things. It's just a case of, right, well, I'll spend, whatever it is, $5,000 or a relatively small amount in the whole budget of things, but it's an amount, and I say, right, I'm prepared to lose that by trying something different. We do that every year, and every 2 or 3 years something really pays off. That when we started growing the wedge-tail wheat, there was just a punt. We had no idea how it was going to go. But 6 years later, it's been a massive thing to our business. Now, we've tried other things. We've tried other perennial pastures. We've tried winter active grasses, all sorts of things. Now, they've all failed. That's all been money out the door. But the payoff so far has been really big. And
at least you know.
Well, exactly. And even if only every 3 years or 4 years one of those $5,000 things comes off, the payoff for that coming off in just 1 year, we pay back those 3 years immediately and probably more. So being able to innovating and keep doing things, and if you look into what we're doing now, with precision seeding and stuff, we've moved all of our farming cropping enterprise onto east-west seeding. There's a lot of the research coming back saying it's giving a boost in yields, and we've even done things like we've planted lucerne precision seeded east-west. And we've put some grasses, tall fescues and tall wheatgrass in some paddocks on that east-west bearing. And in 2 years' time, we're going to try coming back and interseeding those rows. Stuff like that. Now, I don't know whether that's going to work, but
worth a go.
It is worth a go. And if fertiliser prices or whatever come about, or if farming becomes one of those occupations which is just so expensive, we've got a new tool where we can say, well, we'll grow lucerne for a year, and we'll leave it alive in the crop, and then we won't have to put a lot of nitrogen down. It'll become a cheap crop. So, I don't know, we're always playing with different ideas, that whole, what if the climate does this, or what if, this opportunity arises? Do we have something we can use for that in the future?
Being in a fairly luxurious position of a 550 millimetre rainfall to the southwest of Kojana, do you feel that you're in a better position to manage climate variability than people in a far less rainfall?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the price of land and everything around us reflects that. I mean, it is a kind climate, and even in a dry year, we generally have a soft start and we have a soft finish. I mean, so it's actually relatively easy as long as we get a crop up and away. And some of those dry years, the droughts, can often be our best years, because sometimes too much water in the winter can be our biggest downfall. Then again, we're just learning to manage that variability, and variability creates opportunity. The more variable things are, the more opportunity there is. While we might get too wet for some crops, that opens opportunities for other crops. So you can't look at it and say, well, that's no good for my system. We'll think, well, what system is that good for? And then use it as an opportunity. So I know through my learnings through genetics, the greater the variability in genetics within a population, the more rapid change you can make. So I don't look at climate variability or climate change or whatever as being a negative. I look at it as being a real positive. So it can actually open up huge opportunities to grow different crops, new crops that we might not have been able to grow before. And it may involve a whole change of system, but look, wherever there's change, there's opportunity, and people will make money from it. So I think that's what it's all about.